Yeah, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Learn JavaScript with Foundry VTT. And in our last episode, we started talking, we're doing some recon-y type stuff. We're applying things that we've learned. And if we go look at our thing, I keep forgetting it's not here anymore because that sidebar macros isn't working. I don't know why I have you. Oh, actually I do, because of this. When I first created it, I got a bad one. So anyway, let's go ahead and just delete this one then. There we go. All right, so let's go into our fundamentals here. And actually, I guess we could, well, I think if we click that, it'll actually try and run it. I don't want to do that right now. So let's move this over here. And move this about right there-ish and hit F12 so we can see our info, and then we can make everything big. All right, so in our last episode, we talked about selecting or how to tell if a single token, no token, or multiple tokens are selected. And we have it create these variables based off of what is being selected. So if nothing's selected, we just throw out an error. If multiple tokens, then we're going to create basically we're going to look at our array of tokens. And if a single token is, we're going to get the token, and then we're going to get the token role data. So this will be any token that's selected. It's not always my token necessarily. However, if you're a player, they only have the right to select their own token. They can click other tokens which will target them, but they can't actually select one. So as a player, it would always be the token of that player. So that's why token actor get role data is not within canvas tokens controlled 0. It's not like controlled 0 then token actor get role data, right? So let's go ahead, run this real quick. No tokens are selected. Helps to have tokens selected, which we'll just grab our one there and go back here again. And now if we run it, wait, did I not select it? No, I have it selected. What you talking about? Do that. Hold on, did we change something? It was working, right? So now it is, oh, we weren't in one message. I keep doing that. All right, so if we go here and do it, there we go, it's working. I'm just a dummy. All right, so here you can see we have our token and we have our token role data. However, what if it's a target we want to get the information of? So if we go switch to target mode and target that guy, if you look really close, you can see, yes, we do have them targeted. And then, of course, we need to reselect our token so that we're selected. Let's move him just a little closer so we can see his friend. Let me move that guy as well. So anyway, we can now, with our targeted token, we can actually go query about the targeted token. So let's do that. And go back into here, applying our knowledge. All right, so I want to go put some carriage returns in here because this is our first part. So now let's figure out how on earth do we check targets, because we're definitely going to want to have targets. So let me go check my notes where I wrote down that stuff. Here it is right here. All right, so what we're going to do is we want to check, first of all, if there is a target, right? So we're going to find that information. If we go to game.user.targets, and if we do that, you will see here we actually have one target. Now we might have more than one target, or we just have the one target. So what we want to do is get this information, and I'm trying to think, do we want to check for multiple targets? Generally, the majority of time, you're only going to have one target. and maybe we'll just play that way. We kind of talked about how to detect if there's more than one, and you can use that same logic. But let's go ahead and trying to think what I might want to do. Actually, let's do it this way. So first we want to check if there is a target. So let's just do, we need it to at least be one, I believe. So let's go see. So here we have one set. In our set we have a single target, which is good. Now, one thing I'd also like to talk about here is we're using a set. Now, a thing about sets is there can't be duplicates, and it doesn't necessarily have a key value association. So you can't say necessarily I want, you know, here I wouldn't be able to say that, well, let's try this and I'll show you what I mean. So if we come in here and we go to targets, and then we say do bracket 0 like that, because we do know we have a bracket 0 here, and we hit enter, we get undefined. And the reason is because this is a set and there's not really that association of a element 0 and this is the value assigned to it kind of thing. So what we need to do is we need to convert basically this set into an array. So I'm trying to think the best way. So we have size here. I think that will be our best thing to check on, because if there's a size of 0, nothing's selected. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and say if, and we'll say game.us user.targets targets, and then dot size, and if we say equals, we could do it the same way we did here. We could do equals 1, then we know we have a single target. So we could say equals 1. In fact, we'll do basically the same thing we have up there. And then we can say ELSE if, and we'll do the same thing. Control C and a V. In fact, I want to do equals. And then here we will do greater than 1, like that. Then we're going to do that. And finally, else, this will be you do not have any targets. So we could take our error notification here, put that here, do this, do that, like that. We could say you have no selected. Boom, like that. We're yelling it, just like this one. We should be yelling it too. Exclamation point everywhere. All right, so now what I was saying is if we do have this, we want to convert the set into an array. Because then we actually have the 0 and the 1 and all that stuff. So now what we'll do is if there is a target, we are going to go ahead and set my target, because why not? Const my target. And you call it whatever you want. And we're going to say equals basically this. Well, actually not quite. We're going to keep that. We want to do array from, so A-R-R-A-Y, and it is important that uppercase A, and then we're going to do from. So this is going to convert an array from what we're doing. So we want to say from this. Say V, and I'm trying to think. I know we do values. Because that would just be a single, and then that is actually a method. So we'll do that. Now, if we have more than one target, then we'll go ahead and do the exact same thing, but just call it something else. Now, technically, this is going to grab everything, but we only want it to be the first one if there's one. But we don't want to do this if not. So this is kind of redundant what we're going to do. I'm going to do my targets here and here, because what I want to do is actually only have it be the single target. But in order to get the array, we need to do this. But in this case, it's only going to be a single one returning. So we're going to do const my target, my target equals, now we don't need to have the array conversion thing, we just get to access our actual thing. So we'll do my targets, but we're going to do array element 0 of my targets, and that should do that. And then console .log, we'll go ahead and do that, and we will say what do I want to say? Let's go ahead and do this and say target. So we'll have a single target like that, do that, and then we can say my target. So that will output our single target. Then we're basically doing the same thing, except we're not going to have the, because that'll still be an array. Okay, good. So we'll take that, and we're actually just going to paste the exact same thing in here, but we're going to get rid of the converting into a single target, and we're going to call this my targets. So what this is going to do is it's going to check this set and see if size is set to 1. If size is set to 1, then it will go ahead and create the my targets array. So it's creating this regardless, but it's going to then kind of sub-create, I guess, a single thing for our one target. If we have multiple targets, it's going to look at all of them, convert it into an array, and then it's going to output that entire array to the console. If nothing's target, it's going to throw an error. I think that is what we want. All right, so let's go ahead and try this. We're going to go ahead and save it, which will close it. So right now we only have a single target. Actually, let's get rid of our target. And I think we have to make sure we're selected though. And we'll go ahead and run it. And here you can see you have no targeted selected. I could definitely reword that. Maybe I do want that not in there. All right, so now let's go ahead and target a single guy. Actually, let's do the multiple guys. I believe it's shift. There we go. So now you can see that we have our there is our token. Here's our targets down here. I forgot we have that still. So you can see we have 2 tokens selected. This is now an array, and so there's our 0 and there is our 1. All the information on those targets. And if we only have a single one selected and a single one selected, let's go and clear this. And now you can see we actually only have a single token here for our target, and we can see all their information in here. We can see if they have a target kind of thing. What else did I want to show in here? Hit area, effects, document, all kinds of fun stuff you can look at here. What bars are showing, the health bar here and stuff. So if we go to bar 1, you can actually find out that it is set to max health. I don't know where that actually is listed, or it's called name or something. We don't actually have a second bar, which is your option. If we go look in the token, you can see here that resources, you have your first bar here and you have your second bar. First bar is set to attributes HP. The second bar actually is set to AC value 12. That's actually this box above. So we actually do have both bars set. So there we go. So that is how you can verify that you have a target or multiple targets or no target. You can verify which state your token is in. I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna give him bigger vision. Let's give him 60, sure, why not? There we go. Now we'll be able to see everyone all the time. All right, so let's go ahead and untarget this guy, go back, and let me think what other kind of stuff we might want. Maybe we want another example of when we have something selected. We have our items, right? I don't know if we actually have any items in here, do we? No, maybe we should go put some items in there. Let's close you for a second. So if we go, well, now let's go to our compendium real quick. Wrong button. We'll go to the items compendium. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the learn JavaScript compendium. We need D&D-SRD. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and grab some of these. Let's take a battle axe, scroll down a little ways, maybe a crowbar, which I think looks like a pickaxe, maybe some armor, sure, a vicious club, why not? Scroll down a little further, maybe find a sword of some sort, some rings there, war pick, sure, warhammer, level 3 warhammer, pretty nice. Here's a sword. Maybe a long sword too, and there's a great sword. All right, so here we have 7 things in our items, right? If we want to see these things programmatically, we can hit F12 again, and we can do the following. So let's go ahead and close this. We're going to go to game. So we're going to go game dot, and there's one called items. So here you can see items dot, oh whoops, I need to type items, and then a dot, and we have well, actually just game items. So here you can see now we have a map. Now a map is similar to a set where it's a special element. It's not 0. If we go look at our map here, you'll see even though we say 0 here, it's actually saying that this is the key, this is the value, right? Or what's assigned to that key. And there you can actually see here, this is the key, this is the value. So we can't actually look it up by doing this right here. So once again, we can do that little thing that we did before. We could actually come in here and say, let's say items. Items is probably used, so let's do something I'm not going to do, the items. And we're going to say equals, and we're going to do basically the same thing. I might need a let. Let's do a let or const, whatever. And let's do array array dot from. And what we're going to do is, because we want this array to be the values, then that's why we were actually saying values at the end of our thing. So here we're going to say game dot ite items and dot values. So we could do values. We could also do keys. Keys isn't going to do us very good though. So you can see here we could do keys. I think there's also an element. No, it's not elements. What is it called? I can't remember. But anyway, and we're going to go into these later on, which is why I really always wonder, do I want to go into this stuff right now? But I wanted to really give us some association between Foundry and what we're doing. And I think this is doing that. So we're going to do values. And we're going to do that. And we're going to do our closing parenthesis. So now that we've done that, we're going to enter. And if we do, the items, I think, you'll see that there's 7 items in there, which is exactly what we have. If we hit enter on that, now we can actually see them, and we'll see that the 7 items are now associated with a key is actually being an array element, and then we have our actual value stuff all inside of there. So this is how you can access items that are, if you ever find something that says it's a set or a map, you need to do the array from in order to get those values out. And like I said, we will definitely be going more into that as time goes on. So if you don't understand that completely, just take it with a grain of salt for the moment. So this is how we can actually access our different little tabs and stuff, or the actual game elements themselves. So we can actually see all our different items. So we could do the same type of thing where we're checking programmatically if, for whatever reason, that there is items in here, maybe a healing potion or something. That way, if you could have a macro that people could click, and it would add the healing potion to the items here, so they could drag it to their character sheet or something. What it would do is it would go open a compendium, find the items compendium. In fact, we can go try and do that. Maybe do that for the last part of this episode, because we're at 21 minutes. But if we go in here and do game dot, I think it's compendium, no, game. Let's just do game so I can find it, because I can't remember if compendiums, it might be called collections. I don't remember. Compendiums in here. This might be a really bad example, because I don't remember if compendiums are actually called compendiums in here. So maybe that's a really bad example. We have our journal. I think maybe it's the packs. Yes, it is the packs. So here's our D&D 5e. We need the SRD one. Not those, not those. Those are all mapped to 0. These must be packs that I add, because these are all mapped 0. So they must be actually called something else, and I can't remember off the top of my head where they are actually stored. Is it these packs? Might be these ones. Heroes, monster. I think it is these. There's items. Okay, so here's our items. So we could come into packs. This is a set. So in order to access this, we would have to convert packs into an array, so that we could actually then find the items pack. Then we could come in here, I believe. And is this going to actually list out what's in the pack? It doesn't look like it. So maybe that's not a good example. I might have to look that up a little bit just to help you understand that. But that is definitely outside the scope of what we've already learned, and trying to apply the knowledge we have. What we've done so far, and I think this is pretty good, is we've been able to identify how many of tokens are selected. We're able to get the role data, all the information associated to that token, character sheet, and also the token info. We are now able to distinguish how many targets we have and get the information for those. And we talked about how to get information from the individual little bar guys here, with the exception of compendiums. So hopefully that does help you understand something. I'm thinking another thing we might like to do, and maybe we'll do this in the next episode, is we're going to go look at, when there's actually a combat. How do you check that? And maybe how do I change some of those values? So Maybe we'll even look at the native roll mechanic, because it's actually pretty slick. But I think that does for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Oh, whoops, I forgot. Click the notification bell. And then follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. Don't forget to tell other people about this channel. Help them, let them watch the videos, see if they like it. If they do, they can sub. And we grow the channel. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.